Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you all decided to make it today. I am excited for multiple reasons. First of all, our email campaign worked yesterday. We got over 580 people signing up for this just yesterday alone. So we really appreciate you guys joining us. And I will be rocking and rolling real quick. If you don't know me, I'm Dave Lowe. I'm the CEO of isiFederal, and we help with data, doing the research, marketing efforts, pushing that stuff out there, and helping with your business development support. You can see some of the things on the right-hand side that we are involved in. Been around since 2009, so we know at least a little bit about this market space and helped companies book over 480 million. That's going to go up a lot because I found out about something the other day that's going to affect that dramatically. So on the right-hand side, we'll be talking about some of these things. Gov Brief, VFedCon we did last year when there's a big hole in the marketplace because there was no industry day. So we did the first ever virtual industry day. And today you are getting a dose of what's happening with SAM.bid is our system that's coming online. There's the beta that's happening right now. We have 40 people on it. Rodolfo, I think you're on that, right?
I'm here.
You're there. You're on that. And we have the new AMP system, which is the SAM system that also is doing things to help you get ahead of the RFPs. Because if you're not ahead of them, by definition, you're behind them. How you like that? So real quick, if you have GSA and you're monitoring GSA eBuy, sign up for quickfuse.com because this is the last month you're going to get it for free for 30 days. So do it. Quickfuse, QUIKFUSC.com. If you want to test drive it, that's great. If you want to stay for a year, we'll guarantee that you'll book 500% more than you spend on QuickFuse, or it is money back. And we've never given any money back. Thursday, little self-promotion here. I am going to be doing business with FEMA. Let me see if I can get that in my I got it in here. I'm going to put this in the chat. If you're interested in doing that, hold on, I'll find the chat. Here we go. If you're interested in doing that, it's $199 today, and tomorrow is the last day for $199, and then it goes to $225. So get signed up. If you want to do that, get signed up. If you want to do business with FEMA, that is happening. And with us, we have Rafael Marrero, my famous Cuban buddy down in South Florida, who did not collapse. There's no collapse in his facility. How you doing, Rafa?
Woo, glad to be alive.
Glad to be alive, baby.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Rafa. What you got?
I just wanted to thank you for the invite and say hi to everyone on board.
Well, there you go. Well, that's easy. Well, welcome. You're going to be talking about capability statements and socioeconomic certification because that's your expertise. And we do have something happening on a protest, and it is not storming the Capitol, Rafael Marrero. It's bid and award protests. That's what we're going to be talking about with Gov Brief later on this month with our friends over at Fed Practice. These guys are lawyers. They know what they're doing in the government. Bid protest, security clearances, and compliance experts. You can reach out to them. I don't even see Sean May here. How does Sean May not here? Did he not make it in?
He's here in spirit.
That's right. Well, you can reach out. You can look for that on there. And then we also have one of our main guys who's not here today is going to be providing unsolicited proposals on July 29th. And that's Greg Clark. He's on vacation, and he's a loser for not showing up because Sally's on vacation and she's here.
I'm in Florida. Yay. But it's not my turn yet.
That's right. She's usually out in Utah, right?
Correct.
There you go. And there we go, Sally White. She's an Uber connector. She does a lot of work with opportunity teaming, has a lot of experience and a lot of contacts at Energy and Navy. Introduce yourself, Miss Sally Wolf with Echo Wolf.
So excited to meet you. What I've basically done is invited all of you to share your LinkedIn contact information so we can all help you. We can help each other when we know how to connect with each other and when our websites and our LinkedIn's look fabulous. So connector, force multiplier, happy to be of service and so excited to be here. Thank you, Dave.
You betcha. Love it. Love it when Sally's here. She always brings something new. Peter Timbus with an A.
Woo, Peter.
Is here.
Yes. Wow.
Peter, tell us about what you do, because you do contract funding. What does that mean?
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here and welcome to all the participants. We just celebrated our 30th year of being a trusted financial partner for government contractors. So we will help you in the bidding process by providing you financial support letters to win contracts. And once you win contracts, we will provide the financing for payroll and business expenses to move forward on those contracts.
And that is a really important thing. You did a briefing not too long ago on that exact subject. So we'll make sure get that link in there, and they can look at that as well. Rodolfo Lavacay,
Yay.
the master transformation agent. How you doing, Rodolfo?
Great, Dave. Thank you, and thank you for having me over here. We are government contractors. We are a small business. We've been in business for about 7 years. We help agencies to transform, right? Basically, to visualize what they want to accomplish with their systems and the organization of the future, and then transitioning through the whole transformation process. Also, I've been your guinea pig in testing some of the systems that you provide, and I am very impressed by all of the ones that you mentioned before, Quick Fuse and the other new ones. So thank you for that, Dave, as well. Your platform is really impressive.
It is something else, and it is absolutely crazy how it's going to change. It's going to change everything for the folks that are using it. I'm telling you, it is smoking. It's not just because we made it.
Government contracting game changer. I've never seen anything like it.
It's very cool. Musha, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And one of the things I wanted to give a shout out to Rodolfo is he helped NASA get how many billion, Rodolfo?
It was a total of 9 billion.
Billion, Rafael, that's a billion. Billion. Sorry, go ahead, Rodolfo.
Oh, no, basically, as part of, I would say, this transformation and process improvement, and, we do also things like cost estimation. And this was a project to support, basically a cost estimation and budget requests. So those are some of our capabilities. We have very solid past performance within the federal government.
And that's fantastic. That's why you're here. And I love that you're here. You also know a little bit about the 8A world and that. So I appreciate you guys, all you guys being here. Today, we're talking about being successful in the federal government. And this, a little bit about this session, always free. We have over 1,800, probably 1,900 now that we sent out yesterday. Just saying, hey, this is on. And guess what? We have 409 people here. That is insane. Welcome, welcome. We'll give you some dialogue with some of the folks here with federal experts. We get real about how things work. We do not blow sunshine, do we, Rafael Marrero?
Nope.
No sunshine blowing and no silver bullets. If you're looking for silver bullets, this is not the place to look.
We don't give out stimulus checks either.
There's no such a thing. So we talk about winning strategies, and we will show off a little bit. And if you don't like it, just remember how much you paid for it. Just saying. But I will say this: if you are here and you are after active opportunities, reaching federal decision makers and stakeholders, and anybody else that is touching the universe of the government, you are in the right place. This is exactly what we're talking about today. And with a quick disclaimer, if we have anybody from the government, this will allow them to talk to us, because it's not affiliated or endorsed by GSA or any other agencies. To provide to you, the audience, for information purposes only. And if anybody is here from the government, it's not an indication or endorsement or commitment to purchase from any vendor, and that comes directly from GSA. And if you'd like to participate, and Sally's been all over this already, you can chat, you can raise your hand, you can do the Q&A, and we'll do our best to be able to answer your questions. If you've been living under a rock for the past year and a half and you haven't experienced Zoom, you can go up in that corner, do view options, and make us bigger or smaller, change what you like to see, make it a presentation that works for you. And now I'm going to place this in the chat, which is the information that they will not let me do as part of files. But there you go. We have their capabilities. We have the winnable opportunity matrix we'll be talking about, and VA procurement readiness. I like this document. I use this document when I do talk about doing business with the VA. So you can download those. So why in the world did you guys decide to come here? Are you new to federal contracting? And everybody write down on a piece of paper what the percentage is that people are new before this starts. I have federal contracts as a subcontractor, want to be a prime, or I have some prime contracts and want to grow, or some crazy man sent you an email. There's got to be a bunch of those today, and you can pick those that you want. So keep that running. And while we're at it, we're going to be talking about the 1.4 trillion. I don't even have enough fingers for that, Rafael. That's like this way and in your ears and all that. Anyhow, here we go. Here's the deal. It all has to be spent by September 30th, 2021. Right? Why is that, Rafael Marrero?
It's the end of the federal fiscal year.
Yes, it is. Because we are in Q4 right now. And if you want to win, you better get your butt in gear, because it is high time to be out in front of those folks. Okay, here we go. You got 3 seconds to answer that last poll. 3, 2, 1, and boom. Here we go. Share the results. 49%. Who had 49% written down? Anybody? You didn't even do it, did you? On my team member.
I did. I had it written down.
You had it written down. I'm sure you did. Yes. All right. So there you have it. So why we're here today is because we are in Q4, and you need to get moving if you want to get in business. And Q4 is here. Q4 means that the vast majority of spending, both on the side of new opportunities as well as recompetes, because they happened 5 years ago in September, are landing again in September this month. So what is the number one thing the government says to do? Rodolfo, what do they tell you to go?
Check fbo.gov or whatever it is now, some beta.SAM.
It's now SAM.gov, because the system is so good, it's no longer beta. Man, oh man, how many people love that? Wow, I tell you what. Well, let's get real about this. This is what it looks like. Let me tell you about this. This is 90-second challenge. GSA broke these links. I'm going to fix these and get this sent out, but I'm going to show you what it says nonetheless. The 90-second challenge is with SAM opportunities. If you look on SAM.gov and you do, hey, let's take a look at fiscal year 2020. How many opportunities were there out there? 127,622. And if you look at the awards from FPDS, because SAM.gov still doesn't work for this, I don't care what they say, 6.3 million, almost 6.3 million. So you're probably saying to yourself, something's not right, hon, because there is crazy numbers here, and 6.1 million never posted on SAM.gov.
Big delta.
How many of you are saying, what is going on? I wonder where these are. And guess what? You go to SAM.gov, lots of competition. You look at the rest of the contracts, the other 98%, 3 out of 4 have less than 5 competitors. And check this out. In just a minute, I'll tell you how many only have 1. So what's in the way of the other 98%? You're not one of the 5. That's what's in the way. You need to be one of the 5. And oh, by the way, 38% only have 1 response. Now that can be 8A, right, Rodolfo?
Yes.
What's the benefit of an 8A?
You can get direct awards, sole source direct awards.
Sole source direct awards. And who on this panel knows a little bit about getting those certifications? It might just be Rafael Marrero.
Let me think about that. Yes.
So we're going to talk about that in just a minute as well. But here's the deal. I don't care what certification you have, what kind of company you run, people still buy from people they know, like, and trust. Rafael Marrero, I made that up this morning. You believe that?
You're good.
I'm good, man.
You're good, man.
So when we're talking about building relationships, we're talking about buyers, which are your contracting officers and contracting specialists. Those are the people, if you open up that winnable opportunity matrix, you're going to see this. Contracting officers, CO, contracting specialists, same individuals. Procurement side of the house, They're the buyers. They're the one that spend the money. Billions, billions, trillions of dollars is what they spend. So the number one buyer question that they have is, why should they care about you? Why? I don't care. If you don't have what I need, as far as the contract, if you're not ready to do business with me, I'm going to say no to you, and you will never even know that they said no. They just don't respond. So here's the truth of the matter. I don't care what anybody else says. The federal buyers are already buying from people that they know and they trust enough already because they're already spending the money with them on existing contracts. And guess what? They don't want to change. These folks are risk averse. They don't like new things, and they already are using somebody and will continue to do that unless you do something to disrupt that pattern. That pattern is going to repeat itself. And I'm telling you, when we get to looking at the AMP system and monitoring awards and showing you what happens when we monitor awards and look at some of the historical data, that is going to continue to happen unless you get in and start injecting yourself in that conversation. And the answer that they need from you is why you deserve to be one of their 5. So here's how this works. In addition to your buyers in the procurement side, you also have program managers, you have technical representatives or cores, depending on the agency, and you have administrators, people that are running these agencies, from secretaries on to directors down into the senior management and senior project management, the kind of folks that Rodolfo does work with all the time to help improve their processes. Right, Rodolfo?
Absolutely. Yes.
So getting you into the green, getting you to be one of the 5. And here's what we want to do. We want to understand those key decision makers. We want to understand their roles, what they need, their buying motives, because they're not the same, and their patterns. What do they do? And how do they do it? And what do they need from you? The objective, getting you into the green. So what do you think contracting officers need? Open up that chat and let us know what you think contracting officers need. And we'll start talking about contracting officers in just a minute.
And
And in
don't
the
feel you
mean-
need to capture everything in the chat, because we're going to show you how to capture it at the end. And I think Dave and his wonderful team also send out the chat as well. Is that correct, Dave?
We're going to do that. Anybody that's here will get a copy of the chat in
Amazing.
text form, just the same way. Clarity on service, risk mitigation, motivation. Keep coming. Contracting that care the most about price efficient solutions, says Jalen. Sean, KOs want to minimize the risk. You are correct, sir, about that. Harry, simplicity, trusted advisors come from Sally. Rodolfo, contract vehicle, very important. Responsiveness, they do like that. The easy button, Joe. Who is that? Joe, which Joe is that? Man, I can't see the name. How is it I can't see his whole name? Joe, who are you, Joe? Anyway, Joe.
It's easy.
Oh, he's easy. That's right. So easy, you only get a first name. Competitive playground. You think so? What value you are to them? Nice, Chris. Love it. Reputation, solutions, a great price. Contract, need information to confirm technical responsibility of the offer. Like that. Project delivery. They need solutions to their issues. Antonio, money man. I love it. Janice, successful past performance. Very good. Funds. That's what you're right, Rodolfo. They need funds. Make them look good. I love it, Keely. All right. So let's talk about these folks. Understanding contracting officers. First of all, they're busy, or they think they are. And they're going to act like that when you talk to them. And they're not going to teach you how to do business with them. They're going to shove you over to the PTAC or the small business liaison or their OSDBU, right, Sally? They're going to push you in that direction.
Yep. Any place they can put you.
Anywhere else but talking with you or helping. So they are risk averse, right? So that means they don't like new things. And guess what, folks? If you have not done business with them, by default, you're new, right? Now, they're experts in moving paper. So here's the deal. Do not think that I am saying that all they do is move paper, because guess what? They move millions of dollars. And I have seen contractors absolutely give a beat down on contracting officers. And I'm like, are you nuts? These people spend millions of dollars on what you sell. So you treating them with respect. Who is that? Making them look good. Love that, Keely. That was awesome. They do want the fastest way to purchase because they developed the contract mechanism. What does that mean, Rodolfo? They choose whether or not it goes 8A or sole source, don't they?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So you can help shaping the what type of procurement they're going to use.
That's exactly right.
Acquisition strategy.
Did you hear that?
Acquisition strategy.
You can help them choose their purchasing mechanism. If you're service disabled, if you're woman owned, if you're veteran owned, if you're a hub zone, if you're 8A, or if you're purple unicorn, you have all those, you can help them choose what makes the most sense. And that also pushes away the competitors, which is how you get down to a few, because they determine who they're going to solicit to as well. So they want the fastest way to purchase. Is the fastest way to purchase getting 50 responses, Rafael Marrero?
No, because you're looking at it's a prolonged process to evaluate 50 responses. You're looking at vetting out the vendors, looking at their past performance, vendor risk management. So if you have a fewer, more qualified individuals, a smaller pool, that's the money right there.
That's the money right there. And guess what? The research says it. It says 76%, 5 or fewer, 38%, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, where do you want to be? You want to be in the rest of them where you have 25, 50 different competitors, or you want to be in one of the 5?
I'm just saying, not to leave anyone out in the cold. If you're not a purple unicorn, we can connect you with those purple unicorns so you can come in as a sub under their contract. So we
hey, now there's the other part.
Collaboration partner.
That's exactly right. As you can develop teaming relationships. And that also shows you, look at the bottom, your job, prove to them that you belong. We're going to talk in just a minute on how you can do that specifically for your own company. But what Sally just said is critical. You belong, especially if you know how to do these teaming arrangements, especially if you know what's important to them in checking those boxes off of those set-asides that they have to meet and making it easy to buy from you. So here is how we do this, ladies and gentlemen. Make it easy for them to buy from you because you have a clear, concise capability statement. Mr. Marrero, you have a little history in this world of being able to set people up to be procurement ready, don't you?
Procurement and contract ready, yes, absolutely.
There you go.
Because I understand vendor management, I understand supply chains, and I understand what it is to work with contractors, both prime and subs.
He may or may not have worked for a company that resembles a fruit. Anyway, go ahead, Rafael, sorry.
We know a thing or two about supply chains, especially large supply chains, and working with small businesses, which are the backbone of the American economy. So we focus as a management consultancy, we focus on procurement readiness, what it takes to get you in front of the right people and to get you ready for that first meet so that you can create a lasting first impression, a very good first impression on your potential buyers and people who are technically evaluating your level of competence. How good do you look on paper? So we work on the procurement readiness. We look at everything that involves your brand as a federal contractor. Everything from your capability statements and whether or not they capture the 6 essential elements of information, whether they're equal parts form and function, whether they're aesthetically pleasing, all of that. We also work with you on your government business cards, which are different from your commercial business cards, and even your website. The structure of your website needs to be aligned with what the expectations are from government buyers and potential teaming partners. They're going to look at you to see if you've got your ducks in a row, like our logo, right? So then we work on socioeconomic certifications, and that involves both for one, we've done hundreds of 8A certifications. We have a very high percentage of first-time approvals, STB, OSBs, so service disabled, veteran-owned small businesses, 8A certifications, the economically disadvantaged women-owned small business and the women-owned small business, We also do the veteran, both service disabled and veteran owned small business. And we also do the hub zone certifications and the DOT certification. So anything that's certification related that will help position you for a small business set aside or even a sole source, we're adept at. And we've actually written business cases for sole source justification awards.
Hey now,
Yeah.
hey now, you mean you've helped write justification? Who do you write those for, Mr. Marrero?
Well, those are typically written for the contracting office.
Exactly.
And so you have to prove that you meet certain criteria. Typically, it's 5 areas, right? And you're going to offer value add to the government in 5 specific areas. And one of those 5, you have to demonstrate that it's better for the American taxpayer that the government award this contract without bid directly to this entity because they offer something that's so awesome that the government can't pass that up, right? So that's what a sole source justification award is.
And that's a beautiful thing. And we're going to be doing a briefing on that, man. I'm telling you, with you and me and Sean, we're going to be doing that soon.
Yep.
Because that is going to be awesome. And I want to give you some examples of this. And just in honor of Rafael's picture right there, I have gotten these new blue glasses, not as quite as classy as his, because I think these came from Amazon for about $4. I think yours. Anyway, I always love Rafael's blue glasses. So for the rest of this session, for your session, I'm going to keep this. So you've done so many different presentations, and you and I have done a lot together. Tell folks what they need to have on their capability statement. Here's a great example of what you have.
And this is an older version. I mean, this is one of the earlier versions. We've literally designed hundreds of capability statements in the last year. Let me tell you a thing or two, and these are key takeaways. So please write these down because these are good nuggets for you. Number one, always call your document no matter what. It should be your company name dot capability statement dot PDF. Always call it a capability statement. It sounds like a no-brainer, but you would be amazed. So many people write a corporate brochure or call it what it's not. And contracting officers, program managers, technical representatives, they all look for the word capabilities statement, okay? And not to be confused with a capabilities briefing, which is a separate animal altogether. A capability statement should be 8.5 by 11 in PDF format, no more than one sheet of paper, double-sided, ideally one face, okay? The 6 essential elements of information that I call the 6 C's should be captured on the first page. What are they? Number one, your capabilities narrative. This is a very brief narrative that should mirror what you have in the dynamic small business search database that belongs to the SBA, okay? It should be a brief description, not a fluffy marketing jargon explanation of who you are. Cut right to the chase. This is what we do. Spell it out for them, okay? Your codes come in different flavors. You have your DUNS code, you have your CAGE codes, you have your product supply codes, PSC, you have your NAICS codes, which are your North American Industrial Classification System codes. Make it easy for the contracting officer to identify what product or service your company delivers. Also, for those of you involved in state and local, there's something called the NIGP codes, which are the National Institute of Government Procurement. They're different from NAICS codes. So word to the wise, you should have separate capability statements. One for federal, one for state and local, one for the private sector, okay? Your customers, third C, very important. Who are they, right? Help them understand who you're currently working with, because there might be some synergy there with the types of business, and also there might be someone there that they know that they can contact for a reference. Your contracts, how do they write this up? Which contracting vehicle or mechanism can they use if you really impress them to write up this fantastic project that you're going to work on, or program that you're going to work on with the federal government? Also, what are your core competencies? Spell them out. Ricky, explain it to them, okay? In bulletized form. Don't get fancy. They don't want you to get your Shakespeare on. You don't need to write paragraphs of information. Just bulletize it for them. Just net it out for them, okay? Last but not least, your contact information. Contact information. And I cannot stress this last point enough. Please, 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 please keep it under 1 megabyte in PDF format.
And that is super information. I'm telling you, there's so many people I've seen over the years that just didn't even put their contact information. They look at it like, hey, this is my company resume. My company. No, it's your company. You are who they're going to build a relationship. They don't build relationships with companies. They build relationships with people. Your contact information. Make sure it's there to be found, not to be at the bottom of the thing or just all over the place. And here's another example. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me resume.
Rafael, can you give the document file name again on one of our
Yes, so
wonderful numbers?
the naming convention should always be your company name, right? .capability statement .pdf. Should always be in a PDF format. Never, ever, ever send it in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or Illustrator or anything like that. Please do yourself a favor, because it's
And make it
gonna go to-
searchable too, right?
What's that?
Don't do
Make
it as an image.
Indexable, searchable file. Yes. Okay. You want to put tags on certain words, and you should always call it your company name .capability statement .pdf. Don't call it anything else, please, because when they look for it, they should be able to bring it up now. And it should always be in PDF format, please, and under 1 megabyte or less. Okay. The contractor business cards. Now, some people will say, well, Rafael, why do we need different business cards? And that's because your contractor business cards are a sort of small version of your capability statement. Whether or not you realize it, okay, they are technical business cards, and that's why they have to be designed by a firm that knows what they're doing, right? That understands a thing or two about branding and about maintaining a certain look and feel. Also the type of paper that you do. So these are things that we do in our secret sauce workshops where Dave and I have traveled the United States presenting. But take a look at Miguel Lopez, right? You look at Miguel Lopez and right away, Miguel Lopez Jr. Inc. is named after Miguel Lopez Jr. Wow, that was tough to figure out. But Miguel Lopez Jr. Inc. is an asphalt and maintenance and pavement contractor. They started out that way. Now they're doing site work and engineering. They're a full scope engineering, site work engineering firm. So if you look at that logo, you know exactly what they do for a living, right? You don't see a little kid dressed up like a Superman or like a superhero. You don't have all these hoity-toity, artsy descriptions of what it really points out clearly. It points clearly to what they do. Please note that you have Miguel's cell phone, his phone number, and his email, and his DUNS and cage code. Why is that? When you meet a contracting officer, they're going to go right to Sam, and they're going to want to go and understand who you are. They're going to look you up in the system, okay? And then look at that trifecta: asphalt, pavement, site work, period, right? That's what he does. We did this on a matte cardstock.
Why is that, Rafael?
Because you don't want to give them glossy surfaces, because they want to write. Most pens cannot write on glossy surfaces. And contracting officers sometimes will take a note, like call this guy, or veteran. For some reason, if you forgot to put your status, or he'll just want to say, I need to call this guy, right? Or this person, or this lady. So it's important that you not write, that you be able to write on your business card. So
how cool is that for a little secret for folks to say, hey, don't do the glossy thing. And I love the fact that you have all the codes on the back. So like you said, it's a mini capability statement.
That's what it is.
It shows people that you belong. That's what you want. If they're not, first of all, are they going to hire you because of your business card?
No, they're not.
No.
They're not going to hire you because of your business card. But you know what? If you create a first good impression, they're going to call you. They're going to call you.
And they may kick you out if you have a garbage one, right?
If you have a glossy one, they'll say, well, you know what? Maybe not so much. So Dave, on the back, you have the contracting vehicles. If you notice, if you can go back for a minute.
Oh, wait, one second. I'm sorry. I was getting your poll ready, man. I'm going to get it ready nonetheless.
Codes commonly supported. He is an A8A firm. Then you have your federal contracting vehicles and certifications and professional licenses. Yep. If you're an engineering firm or a construction firm, you have professional licenses, right? If you're an engineer, like certified underground constructor, certified general contractor, et cetera, very important to call those out. If you're in IT and you have ISO certifications and ITIL certifications and things of the sort, important to call those out briefly in your business card and also on your capabilities briefings and other materials.
Yep.
Go.
Beautiful. I love it. As usual, Rafael, you're awesome. All right. So what do you need from Rafa? You need a rocking capability statement. You need a briefing deck, two different things, like Rafa said. Do you need to get funding? Because he helps with folks on the funding side. We got another funding guy coming up. Need to get my certs, as in 8A, service disabled, veteran owned, woman owned, hub zone. All those are areas that Rafael does, or something else. Call me, and we're going to go ahead and get to the next guy. We were filling that out because this cat, we just did a briefing not too long ago, Peter Timbus with an A, and that's an inside. Well, how come it's still you?
Well, you know what? I got kicked off and I came back on and it doesn't save it.
It doesn't save it. Apparently, we have a Zoom issue with
Yes.
Peter Timbus with a U versus an A. It is an A.
Yes.
A for A plus, winning contracts with 8 A's. How do you like that segue, Peter?
Correct. Well,
So tell
thank
us-
you.
Tell us,
And-
I know that you do this. We did a briefing, and I want to make sure we get that in there. If somebody can grab that briefing link and pop it in here. Great information on both before you win, making sure you're presenting yourself as having you're capable, right? And have the funding to be able to fulfill a contract. For instance, if you are an 8A and you're $1 million 8A and you win a $10 million contract, or you're trying to win a $10 million contract, somebody's going to look at you and say, I'm not so sure if they can handle this. But if you have the funding letter, what is this letter called again, Peter?
A letter of financial support that is given to our clients when they're in the bidding process to hopefully help them win the contract. You'll have a lot of our clients will ask for additional letters. I had one yesterday, a client had won a sole source 8A, and he just wanted to provide the contracting officer. He won the contract, but he wanted to show the contracting officer that he had the financial firepower to not only perform on that contract, as well as new contracts. I've been doing this for 30 years. And I think the biggest statement that I hear from people is they say to me, where were you a year ago? Where were you 4 years ago? Where were you 10 years ago? Because as a general rule, this is great to help you win business. But once you win business, or you're thinking about winning business, you have to have that financial firepower to perform on those contracts. And we do something a little unique. We lend to the opportunity. We do not lend to your financial statements. We do get your financial statements to get a snapshot of where the company has been. But we are going to lend you to the opportunity and give you the financing and the funding that you need to perform on those contracts, whether it's a receivable-based line of credit or it is a payroll tool so that you can pay your payroll on work that you have completed, but you haven't invoiced your company yet. So we provide all that financing, and from the time you get all the information from us, we'll have you set up in 3 or 4 days for financing, and we have zero upfront cost affiliated with you financing with us.
And I think this is one of the most important things, Peter, is that with the no upfront costs, and I've been jonesing for this for years. And you and I met at a NVSBE event, and we wound up hitting it off and hanging out together and things like that. And I think we're doing something down in Alabama.
Correct.
Yeah, I think we're doing that in October. I think we're going down there together for that. But I tell you what,
Keynoting and presenting, just so you know that you're both.
apparently somebody who's presenting there?
Yeah, Dave Lowe.
Oh,
and,
who's that
Peter.
guy? I'd never sign up for that.
I signed you up. Keep going.
But yeah, so what I love about it is banks don't understand. I've been after banks for years that understand the federal government, and they just don't, and just contracting in general. And that's why I love when Peter does his thing and we get to be able to see what he does. So
Well,
tell us
quickly,
what is, go ahead, Peter, real quick, while this is
mentioning about
going, you
banks.
can finish up.
Banks will lend in the rearview mirror. They'll look at your financial statements and base the line of credit that they'll give you. whether you're brand new or you're an existing government contractor, we are going to lend to the opportunity. So if you are bidding on a contract that requires $1 million line, and presently you've got $100,000 line with the bank, we are going to present that contracting officer with $1 million line of credit facility so that you will hopefully win that contract. And if you win that contract, we will be there to support you each and every way. So all of our clients know that if technically they can handle the contract, they can bid on contracts of any size with the faith that they're going to have that financial backing to perform on those contracts.
There you go. And here you go. You can sign up for a pre-bid financial checkup, a recent government award, financing payroll, a couple folks there. Let's schedule a quick discovery meeting if you want to do that. And we'll keep that open for just a minute while we move to the next one, which is going back to what you're after. All the different active opportunities, federal stakeholders or businesses that touch this universe. We're going to be talking about the buyers and contracting officers. And we're still saying, hey, guess what else you need to do? You need to make sure that you have a contract vehicle. The easiest one to get is a GSA contract. But when you get a GSA contract, Rodolfo, that guarantees you how much money?
Zero.
Zero. Not a thing. So it looks like this. There's over $35 billion per year in GSA contracts. And guess what happens? 80% lose their contract.
Why is the slippery slide pink?
It's
Just
a little
curious.
girl up there. What do you want? Oh man, you're making me. There's the whole thing with the HR thing.
All right, keep going.
All right. So, oh man, that went weird. Okay. So, I will. This is a self-serving message because Thursday I will be talking exactly about this. If you have a GSA contract, go to this link. Hold on, I will get it for you.
We'll put it in the chat.
Hold on. Saving your GSA from cancellation. And you can go right here and sign up for that because that is if you have a GSA, that's only for GSA schedule holders that don't have sales. So there you have, you can sign up for that. And also I want to remind you as a public service message, 30 days for free. You can test drive QuickFuse, QUIKFUSE.com, monitoring GSA eBuy so that you don't have to log into eBuy. Even for those who just love the double authentication, right, Rodolfo?
If you want, I mean, I can offer my experience with QuickFuse, and it was really awesome. I don't have any affiliation with you, Dave. I just, love the product. And one of the things I like is that now I don't have to log into eBuy, and I just get those, all of the statement of work and on the requirement that I can read really fast in an email. So
because most of them you don't have anything to do with, right?
Yeah. So I would say almost 90% of the things that I receive from eBay are not are not on our sweet spot. So it's a really good way of filtering out the things that we don't need and also focusing on the things that we will go after, right? The
That's
opportunities
exactly
that we will
right.
go after.
And I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And Rodolfo, you can stay on the call because you did props for QuickFuse. So the other thing we want to talk about is you can do pre-filled standard forms to make it look like you know exactly how you fit into their world. And also you can do professional RFP responses. And Greg's not here because he's a loser on vacation, but he does help with proposal writing. And GSA schedule development is another contract vehicles. So if you need help, I'm still even going to give him a poll because he's a fairly decent guy. And he's usually here helping us. So I'll say, look,
really great. While you're doing the poll, I'm just going to mention. So I've had several Echo Wolf clients on with Greg, and Greg will actually help you look at different proposal opportunities and help you go through a process to determine if it's a good ROI or a good use of your time. And he'll do that. Greg's amazing. So I highly recommend you reach out to Greg.
he's a good guy. And so, and that's why we have a poll for him. If you need some help with that, we'll make sure he gets in touch with you, even though he's not here and a loser. But people do buy from people they like. And we're going to talk about getting one of the 5. I'm going to paste this back in there in case you came later. There's a couple of things that we popped in, including the winnable opportunity matrix that you can get from that link right there. And what we're talking about is, first of all, what we want to do. Come on, do your thing. All right. We want to know early. And by the way, we're late because we're in Q4 now. We're not knowing a whole lot earlier now. But if we can know early, if we can get to a place where we can start to affect the scope of work, feeding information to the key people, minimizing the competition. We've talked about that using your socioeconomic certifications and your communication with the contracting officers so that you minimize the competitive landscape as well as the program people, and the turnaround, minimizing that. You're going to see turnaround shrink to 1 day in September. And if you're not ready and if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. And our job is to build relationships with these folks. The contracting officers is the first place to stay. And one of the things I have Sally here for, who's awesome, helps folks with LinkedIn and looking like you belong on LinkedIn too, Sally, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So each one of us provides a very important component to help you get the result of getting a contract with the government. And Dave and I and all of us are putting together an ecosystem of all those capabilities. We're in the final phases. But what's really important is when you work with Dave and ISI and bring all these leads, you want to make sure that your LinkedIn page looks as professional and it has the messaging so that people understand you're a viable, legitimate company. And you want to make sure your website is optimized. And so what I do is really make sure that that relationship aspect is in play. And so it's important because Dave can show you the contract officers, the program managers, those individuals of the government who will buy. I can show you how to connect with senior executives, rear admiral generals that are not going to look at your contract and choose to buy, but it's important if you understand those relationships. So I'm going to, well, Dave has you do the poll because I know we're getting close to wrapping up and I want to make sure I give you.
We'll get your poll going.
No worries. I'm going
I do want to talk about conferences and how you help people with conferences too.
For sure. Sure. So I want to make sure I put my LinkedIn. I'm also going to put my Calendly link. And so as a result of working with Dave, I basically offer a free little 15-minute session to see how I can serve you. I'm going to put my EchoWolf Solutions website and email address. So go ahead, Dave. Conferences.
And conferences, you're a stalker, which is awesome.
I'm a friendor, not a stalker in a bad way, not scary, boil the rabbit, stalker. Thank you, Dave. I am a person who helps you connect with these senior, most executive individuals and influencers that can help you align your products and services with the need. And so I'm so excited. We're opening back up again. Yep. And so that's why I'm in Florida. I'm doing a DoD conference. And then I'm doing a conference with Dave and Peter, which is an important conference, so we can share those. So it's very important to go to conferences because you really connect with people. And even if you can't go live, you can go Zoom. And I can show you how to connect with people on LinkedIn. Even if you don't do the conference, by language and messaging, you can connect with very important influencers and decision makers.
Love it, love it, love it. So I am going to launch that quick poll. If you need Sally's help, this is where you get it right now. And you can go right there and do those and I highly recommend you at least chat with Sally because she knows that world. So I'm going to talk about my world for a few minutes because we have a lot of exciting things that are new that are happening. I'm going to show you what Market Essentials looks like. This is a Market Essentials Lite version, which is what we will do right now through the end of just the middle of August. Because by the time you get to the middle of August, if you're not operating and getting to these people, you've already lost. So right now is the time to get things moving. And what we do is we look at your market, and I don't care which market it is. What happened to my other monitor here? Wow, that's crazy. So can you guys still see me? Everything's still working?
Yep.
All right, cool. So what we do is we look at, if you're a GSA schedule holder, this happened to be an Albuquerque construction thing that I did back with Rafael back a year and a half ago. We did this, right, Rafa? Mm-hmm. Out in Albuquerque for the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, matter of fact. and Hispano chamber. Anyway, so we take a look at the market. There's a lot of money in this market. Let me get rid of this poll so it gets out of the way. And we can take care of those things. So with this, you have a lot of money, $70 billion plus in the marketplace. And if you take a look here, there's 188 companies that did $34 billion. Did you catch that? And 221 companies did $35 billion. There's a total of 123,000 contracts and 409 companies altogether that did that money. So here's the interesting thing. It supports exactly what I said earlier. 76% of these were shortlisted by qualified individuals that they knew were able to do this work. So here's the kicker. All these contracts were done by 6,189 buyers. This is important because if you want to be on the short list, you've got to start knowing who these people are. So we did this in New Mexico. 346 of those were in New Mexico. 6,400 were construction contracts, 22 different agencies, $7.1 billion in 2 years in New Mexico. Let me ask you a question about what you do. How much is one relationship worth? Let me find my decision makers. There we go. Now, if you're doing smaller stuff, it's $10,000 or less, and those can be done on credit cards all day long, right, Rafael Marrero?
All day.
All day. But most times, these people are worth a lot more to you than just a single purchase, but could just be one time. So give us an idea what that is, because I'm going to show you. This was somebody that we looked up specifically in Albuquerque, and his name is Herbert Thompson, did 2.3, almost $2.4 million in that time. Do you guys want some of that $2.4 million? I do think so. And as a result of that, we also found Denise Ferris, who works with Herbert. And guess what? We found that just through looking at the SAM.bid or SAM.gov. SAM.bid's my system record. So there we go. Oh, let's do this. So this is great. Most of the people here, 45% of the people, over $1 million. Great answer. Everybody else, still decent amount of money just with the single relationship. I really appreciate that. That gives a good information for what comes next. And that is that it is time to get yourself in front of these people. The question that I have is, do you want to get in front of these people right away? Because if you do, you only have a couple of options. You can do it yourself, where you can buy a list of the top 250. We can get you those today. You can be in front of those. You can start calling those people and dialing for dollars. Do you want market intelligence, which is the entire piece? Rodolfo knows what I'm talking about because we did multiple. You get the real service with Rodolfo because we did all those. So you could do market intelligence, full marketing push. If you want any of those or something else, let us know. We'll be out and reaching in touch with you. The next thing I want to show you is our new system that monitors. So we look at the past. We also want to look at the future. We want to monitor SAM.gov. That's one of the things we want to do. But we also want to look at who got awarded a contract to your primary competitor. Because if they're buying from your primary competitor, they can be buying from you. Very important. If you want to get ahead of it, you at least need to know that it was awarded to your competitor. And as a result, that's what the AMP system does. It shows you what came out today. And let me see if I can grab one of these. My other monitor went down, so I don't know if I can do this because my monitor literally turned off in the middle of the presentation. No idea. All right, I can't even show you. That was my money slide. I can't show you because it's hidden. So I will tell you this. What you want is you want to be able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. You want to be able to email those people based on the fact that you just found out that they have an opportunity or they had an award to your competitor. You want to be able to deliver your value proposition and develop a relationship. If you don't have the skills to do that, you need Sally. You need Sally to show you how to do that. If you don't have the team atmosphere that does those kinds of things, you need Rafael and Sally, because we can combine to do a boot camp, right, Rafael Marrero?
That's right.
So building relationships, making sure that you're ready, that's where you want to be. So, okay, hold on a second. I'm going to end this poll, and I'm going to ask if you want to be involved in the SAM.bid relationship. I don't even have that as the
And
piece.
let me just
Oh.
add that, Dave, after they get their contract, if they can't make payroll, they get a $25 million contract, they can't make payroll, who do they need?
They need
Peter
Peter
Timbers
Timbers with an A.
Right.
And I
There's
cannot
an action.
get this to work the way it's supposed to. I'm not sure why.
But please don't
But-
let Dave's inability to get his screen work affect your
Yeah.
opinion of him.
If you want to be involved, we're in the beta for this right now. We're going live in the next week. If you're in before we go live, if you want to be involved in this, put your email in there. I was going to have if anybody on my team is here, slap Zachary's Calendly in there for me. I don't know who's here because there's 366 people here. So make sure you get that done if you want to do that, or put your email in there. We'll make sure and say you want to be SAM.bid. So here's the deal. We want to build relationships with all of these folks and the stakeholders. They're the program managers, technical representatives, and the administrators. And guess what? It's going to take you time. There's nothing about this that is fast, easy, or cheap. And there's a reason why it gets churned around. You don't have to be on that churn cycle. You can win. It does work. Most important, know about your market. Prepare for the market with Rafael Marrero and company. Dedicate your resources to go out after it. If you don't have the resources, reach out to Sally, reach out to me. We can help with those resources. Get your company out in front of these people right now, because now is the time. After this, you're running out of time. And guess what? The money's got to be spent. We're in Q4, got to get moving. Any questions that we have here that we want to?
Dave, I just put Zachary's Calendly in for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
With my technical challenges, I got no idea what happened to that.
No worries. We got it. We got you.
So yeah, so here we are. What do we got as far as questions? The copy of the slides will be sent out. We will send the recording of it out. I don't know that we do the slides. There'll probably be a link to the slides as well. So we will make sure. Elizabeth, Robert, what was the quick fuse site? QUIKFUSE.com. I'll write that in there for you so that you can see that.
Mentor protege.
What's that?
Somebody wants to know about mentor protege. Chandra.
Mentor protege programs. They
We can
are.
help.
Go ahead, Rafa.
Well, we can help. We've actually completed several all small mentor protege program agreements between primes and subs, specifically with companies that are certified looking to partner with a larger firm, or in between small businesses, one of which is certified in a socioeconomic category and the other one which wishes to partner with them in order to go after a specific pursuit, a federal capture effort. So we help with the actual application. There are some training requirements for both parties involved. A business plan needs to be developed, and it needs to be submitted to the SBA for approval. It can be for up to 3 years, and you can opt out of it earlier if it's not going the way you'd like it to go. There are specific metrics involved in the program to measure your success. It's intended to help you as a small disadvantaged business or a small business concern compete in a more effective manner by teaming with someone under this SBA preferential program.
Love it.
Okay, more questions, Dave.
And I got another one. When I got on FPDS, it says FPDS report module is now retired. You are correct. You cannot run reports there anymore. You can go to SAM.gov and it's garbage and doesn't work. And you can search opportunities though. You can't search opportunities on FPDS. That's just awards, but you can still search on FPDS and you just can't run the reports. SAM.bid is what it's going to be. It's not live yet. We're holding back the launch of the website right this minute. We're doing the final preparations for SAM.bid. That's the site that's coming.
And Dave, I know we're at the top of the hour. Can we stay a few minutes to finish the questions? I can stay.
Yep, we can stay a
Okay.
few minutes. If you
Okay.
have to go, you can roll, but we appreciate you being here. But we're going to answer these. How were the sample construction projects awarded? All over the place, Jerry. They were awarded all over the place, but 75% of them had fewer than 5. It depends on the award. Let's see. You can please have a copy. Yeah, we'll get you copies of this sent out in a recap. When will you see the slides and recording? You will have that'll be probably the end of the week or early next week. How do we communicate with me offline? That's easy. I'll give you my contact information as
Dave,
soon
you
as
want
we
to
get
give
done.
Zach's Calendly?
Yep, you can get on Zach's Calendly too.
Yeah, you can get him faster with Zach's Calendly.
Yep,
Trust me.
Zach will get us on for conversation. All right, the JV is a separate entity. Be sure to clarify the financial relationship between the mentor protege and the JV agreement. Correct, Chandra. Love that. That's awesome. All right, so let's see what else we got. Anybody else got any questions? There had to be more people in the chat that I missed, but
Yeah,
you've
so I
been
just
hammering.
shared my Calendly, and also I shared my contact information. So if you have questions, just really quick, I know Dave will send it out, but since we have some valuable information in the chat, at the bottom of your chat, there's 3 dots. If you click on those 3 dots, it says Save Chat, and it goes to Show in Folder, so you can immediately download all the valuable contacts and information in this chat, because all of you are great in sharing. And then, as I said, I put my information. So, if you have questions, I usually can track down Dave or everyone on this call. Feel free. I'm happy to be of service to all of you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Cool, you bet. And quickviews.com, they were asking about that. You can find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, and GovBrief. Here's Sally's information. If you want to grab that, she always puts enough in there. You can probably catch her anytime. Peter Timbus, dealing with the funding, contract funding. There's his information. Watch for pre and post bid awards that'll probably be coming back, right, Peter?
Right.
We do another one of those.
Yep.
And then we also have the protests with fedpracticegroup.com. There's Greg's information if you need help with proposal writing, as well as Rodolfo Lavaque, master change agent, transformation man of the hour. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for inviting me.
And the good Dr. Rafael Marrero, who I'm still wearing the blue glasses just for you, man. I need to get these bronzed or something for Rafa. I think we lost. Did we lose Rafa? There's his information. If you're interested in doing business with FEMA, go to govbrief.us and you can get that. I can't get the link. Govbrief.us is how you get to that. And saving your GSA is on at 11 a.m. Both of these are on Thursday. Saving your GSA and doing business with FEMA. You get to those at govbrief.us. And we will see you August 10th at 11 a.m. for the final push in Q4, because that's where we're at. And there's my information. And we will see you next month. Sally, awesome. Thank you. Peter, great to see you.
Thank you.
Super quick, Dave. A lot of people have been asking me about the chat, so I'm going to put in my email. I've just saved the chat, and if you send me an email, I can reply all with the chat for all
Yeah,
of you.
dude, we're going to send the chat to everybody.
I know, but they want it now.
There you go.
Now,
You
Dave.
can do
You
that
already
too.
told them they're behind. They want it now.
They can have it right now. Go to the 3 dots and download it. So there you have it. All right, guys. Thanks much. Thanks for joining us. And we will see you next month, if not this week, at another briefing. So really appreciate you guys.